Welcome to the soccer lesson on the Offside rule by spectators.com. In this lesson, we're going to review why the offside rule exists and distinguish between offside position, offside offense, and an offside sanction. The offside position is basically the state of being offsides. The offside offense is when the referee actually calls offside, and the offside sanction is the resulting penalty. The offside rule exists to prevent unfair breakaway goals. It prevents the opponent from just waiting in front of the goal where he can receive an easy pass and score, because that is not fun for anyone. In all of these diagrams, the white team is going to the left and the blue team, their offense is going to the right. It is not an offense in itself to be in an offside position, but it is a necessary condition to be called for offside, so it is important to review what offside position is. A player is in offside position if he doesn't have at least two players between himself and the goal line. In this case, this player here has two opponents between himself and the goal line. If the player moves up, he is now in offside position since he only has one player between himself and the goal line. A player is not in offside position anytime the ball is between himself and the goal line. So you can see this line kind of travels with the ball. This space is always fine to be in, and you will not be in offside position. In addition to watching the ball, you should watch the second to last defender to understand where the imaginary offside line is going. As you can see here, as it moves out, it follows that second to last player. As that player moves out farther, this man now becomes where the offside line is, and this player is now in offside position because he only has one player between himself and the goal line. A player is not in offside position if he is even with the second to last defender. Additionally, he can be even with both defenders, and he is not in offside position. A player is also not in an offside position when he is on his own half of the field. As you can see here, there's only one player between himself and the goal line, but he is not in offside position because he's on his own half. As we mentioned earlier, being in offside position, as you can see here, where there's only one player, this player is in offside position. That's not enough to be an offside offense. You'll see the ball is down here, and the player is not in active play. And active play is an important definition with the offside rule. This is how FIFA, the governing body of soccer, defines an offside offense. A player in an offside position is only penalized if, at the moment the ball touches or is played by one of his team, he is, in the opinion of the referee, involved in active play by interfering with play, interfering with an opponent, or gaining an advantage by being in that position. Now, there are a couple important elements of this rule. The first is the moment the ball touches or is played by one of his team. That means an offside offense will not be called when the opponent has the ball. It's only measured every time your own team touches the ball. The next important part is active play. It's defined as these three elements. And within those, interfering with play is the easiest to understand. It's basically touching or playing the ball. interfering with an opponent is a little bit more confusing. It can be actually physically impeding play, but it also includes juking, faking, cutting, head fakes, anything that could impact the opponent. And that's where there's a lot of discretion of the referee, and the rule is kind of unclear. Gaining an advantage by being in that position would include something like being in an offside position, a player takes a shot, it bounces off of the goal, and then comes to you. Well, you were in an advantageous position, and you should not gain an advantage by being in your offside position. So while you weren't in active play, by receiving that rebound, you actually gained an advantage by your position. There are also 3 exceptions to the rule when offside offense will not be called, and that includes directly receiving the ball on a goal kick, a throw-in, or a corner kick. An infringement or sanction is the penalty that the referee enforces when he calls an offside offense, and it results in the indirect free kick where the offense occurred. The referee will use some discretion when making the call. If the ball is already in control by the offended team, or the offended team has an advantage, he may decide not to call the penalty. Below is a quick review of the offside rule. You are not in offside position when you have the ball between you and the goal line, at least 2 opponents between or even with you and the goal line, or if you are on your own half of the field. Now, it's not an offside sanction when you are not in active play, when a teammate touches or plays the ball, when you directly receive a throw-in, corner kick, or goal kick, or when the referee uses his discretion because you have already gained possession of the ball or advantage. This concludes the soccer lesson on the offside rule. You can find more information about soccer and other sports at sportspectator.com.